Have you ever looked at your bank balance and felt a sinking feeling in your stomach? That moment when your heart drops as you realize there's more month left than money. You're not alone. Millions of people worldwide wake up every day feeling trapped in a never-ending cycle of debt, bills, and financial anxiety. But what if I told you that you've been approaching money all wrong? The problem isn't your income, your expenses, or even the economy. The real issue might be shocking to hear. You've been asking for money when you should be commanding it. Has this ever happened to you? You work harder, take on extra shifts, maybe even start a side hustle, yet somehow the money seems to slip through your fingers like sand. The bills keep coming, the debt keeps mounting, and that sense of financial freedom feels further away than ever. It's exhausting, isn't it? That constant feeling of swimming against the current. Here's what Joseph Murphy discovered after studying thousands of people who transformed their financial situations. The universe doesn't owe you money, it owes you alignment. And when you align yourself correctly with prosperity consciousness, financial abundance follows naturally, almost effortlessly. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely transform your relationship with money. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful manifestation techniques. This is about understanding the energetic laws that govern prosperity and how to position yourself in complete alignment with them. Think of it this way. Most people approach money like a bad relationship. They chase it, cry over it, beg for it to stay, and then wonder why it keeps running away. Money doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to authority. The people who successfully transform their financial situations don't plead or wish for money, they command it with absolute certainty. What's fascinating is how quickly things can change when you make this mental shift. I've seen people buried under mountains of credit card debt suddenly receive unexpected refunds, job promotions, debt forgiveness, and complete financial turnarounds simply by commanding the universe in a specific way. And the most powerful part? It doesn't require you to work harder or sacrifice more. In fact, those approaches often keep you stuck in scarcity. What you need instead is a fundamental shift in how you relate to abundance at an energetic level. What if I told you there are 5 specific words that, when spoken with conviction, can begin to dissolve financial problems almost immediately? Words that can reprogram your subconscious and realign your energy with the infinite abundance that's always been available to you. The wealth you desire isn't hiding from you. It's waiting for you to step into the correct vibrational frequency. The universe is a mirror, reflecting back your deepest beliefs and feelings about money. And today, we're going to adjust that mirror. If this message about commanding your financial reality resonated with you, hit that subscribe button to join thousands of others who are transforming their relationship with money through these powerful principles. Now let me tell you something powerful about money that most financial advisors won't reveal. Money has an energetic quality, almost like a consciousness of its own. And just like any relationship in your life, money can sense your emotional state. The hidden truth is that money flows toward those who approach it with authority and retreats from those radiating desperation. Think about it. When you're frantically checking your account balance, stressing over bills, or lying awake at night worrying about debt, you're sending out a vibrational message of lack and fear. And in this universe of perfect correspondence, that's exactly what returns to you. More situations that trigger lack and fear. This journey of financial transformation begins with a profound mindset shift. Stop treating money like that ex you're still hung up on. constantly checking their social media, wondering when they'll notice you again, feeling resentment when they show up in someone else's life. That emotional turbulence repels prosperity. Instead, when you stand in quiet confidence, knowing that abundance is your natural state, everything begins to shift. It's not about what you say, it's about the energy behind your words. When you make decisions from a place of certainty rather than scarcity, the universe has no choice but to match that vibration. But here's where most people get stuck in an endless loop. They constantly oscillate between different emotional states: worry when bills arrive, momentary relief when payday comes, guilt when spending, greed when desiring more, fear about the future, and fantasies about winning the lottery. These conflicting signals create chaos in your manifestation field. Your financial reality isn't random. It's a direct reflection of your dominant vibration around money. If you send mixed signals, you receive mixed results. That's why so many people work hard, yet never seem to get ahead. The impact of their positive actions is neutralized by their negative energy. I discovered this revelation during my own darkest financial moment. I was doing everything right on paper, working overtime, cutting expenses, following budgets, yet somehow sinking deeper into debt. It wasn't until I addressed the energetic component that everything transformed. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. When you embody the frequency of abundance, you naturally attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that match that frequency. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical energetics. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what happens in your subconscious mind when you shift from begging to commanding. Because once you understand the mechanics of this transformation, you'll never approach money the same way again. If you're resonating with this message, write in the comments, "I command abundance," so I know you're ready to step into this new relationship with prosperity. Let's talk about something we rarely discuss openly: the crushing emotional weight that comes with debt. It's not just about the numbers on a statement. Debt seeps into your consciousness, creating a heaviness that follows you everywhere. That moment when you wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, your mind racing through calculations. That sinking feeling when another payment notification lights up your phone. The quiet shame when you have to say no to something simple because the money just isn't there. This emotional burden isn't just unpleasant, it's actually blocking your financial breakthrough. Joseph Murphy discovered this revelation through his work with thousands of clients. He found that no matter what practical strategies they implemented, financial freedom remained elusive until they addressed the emotional heaviness first. Think about your own journey with money. Have you noticed how debt doesn't just drain your bank account? It drains your energy, your creativity, your sense of possibility. It creates a fog that makes it difficult to see opportunities, even when they're right in front of you. This is the hidden prison that keeps so many trapped in perpetual financial struggle. But here's the profound truth that changed everything for me. The universe doesn't respond to your words or even your actions as much as it responds to your emotional frequency. This is where most manifestation teachings fall short. You can stand in front of the mirror repeating, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times, but if the undercurrent of your emotions is screaming, "I'm terrified about money," guess which signal the universe picks up? It's like trying to tune a radio to a clear station while standing next to a powerful transmitter broadcasting static. Your affirmations might be perfect, but they're being drowned out by the louder broadcast of your genuine feelings. The inner alignment required for true financial transformation isn't about forcing positive thoughts over negative ones. It's about creating congruence between your conscious desires and your subconscious beliefs. When you say, "I am prosperous," and truly feel prosperous, even before the external evidence appears, that's when magic happens. I've witnessed this alignment create what appeared to be financial miracles. Bills suddenly reduced or forgiven, unexpected checks arriving at the perfect moment, new income opportunities appearing out of nowhere. Not because the universe plays favorites, but because these people achieved that rare state of emotional congruence where their deepest feelings matched their highest aspirations. This work of emotional alignment isn't always comfortable. It requires radical honesty about what you're truly feeling about money right now. It demands that you look at the patterns you've been carrying, perhaps for generations. But this inner work creates the foundation for lasting abundance, not just temporary financial relief. Let me show you how to shift these emotional patterns at their core, using a technique that addresses both the conscious and subconscious aspects of your relationship with money. If you recognize this emotional weight in your own life, type "freedom from financial fear" in the comments below, and let's break these patterns together. Now here's a paradigm shift that changed everything for me. Most of us were raised to view money as this powerful force that rules our lives, something to be feared, struggled for and worried about. But what if we've had it backwards all along? What if money was actually designed to be your servant, not your master? This revelation transforms your entire financial blueprint. Money is simply energy, a tool created to serve human needs and desires. Somewhere along our collective journey, we flipped the relationship, placing ourselves in a position of subservience to money. We started believing that our value depends on how much we have, that our security is determined by our bank balance. But Joseph Murphy's profound insight shatters this illusion. Debt doesn't make you powerless. It's merely an energetic imbalance waiting to be corrected through proper vibrational alignment. Think of it like a scale that's temporarily tipped to one side. It's not permanently broken, just waiting for the right adjustment to find its natural equilibrium. This shift in perception alone creates a space for financial breakthroughs that seemed impossible before. When you reclaim your position as the master and see money as your servant, the entire dynamic of your financial life begins to reorganize itself. Now let's address another widespread myth that keeps many trapped in financial struggle. We've been conditioned to believe that the solution to money problems is simply working harder, picking up extra shifts, starting side hustles, cutting every possible expense, living on ramen noodles while your friends enjoy their lives. Don't misunderstand me. Diligence and responsibility have their place. But here's the awakening many need. When these actions come from a place of fear and desperation, they actually reinforce the very scarcity you're trying to escape. I've seen this countless times in my work with clients. They exhaust themselves trying to outwork their financial problems, yet somehow end up right back where they started, or worse. Why? Because their underlying consciousness remains anchored in lack. Every action taken from this mindset carries the energetic signature of not enough, which then manifests as more experiences of not enough. It's like trying to put out a fire by throwing paper on it. The action might seem logical, but it's actually feeding the very problem you're attempting to solve. Your physical hustle cannot outpace your mental frequency. That's why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, while others work themselves to exhaustion and barely stay afloat. The breakthrough comes when you understand that financial transformation requires addressing both the practical and the energetic aspects of money. When your actions align with an abundant consciousness rather than a fearful one, those same actions yield dramatically different results. Let me show you how to shift this dynamic in your own life, starting with the way you perceive the money that's already flowing through your hands. If you've been working harder and harder without seeing the financial rewards you deserve, write "I'm ready for effortless abundance" in the comments below. Here's where I'm going to share something so powerful that it might seem too simple at first glance. But I've seen these 5 exact words create financial miracles in my life and the lives of countless others. Are you ready for them? I command the flow of abundance. That's it. These 5 words, when spoken with genuine authority and conviction, can trigger a fundamental shift in your entire relationship with money. Notice I didn't say, I hope for abundance, or I wish abundance would come to me. The word command changes everything. Ready to continue this journey of financial transformation? Subscribe now to access more powerful insights and techniques that will help you command the universe to pay your debts and create lasting abundance. When you command something, you're speaking from a place of inherent authority. You're not begging or pleading with the universe. You're aligning yourself with the natural order of abundance that is your birthright. This isn't arrogance. It's claiming what's already yours. Try it right now. Close your eyes and say with complete conviction, I command the flow of abundance to balance this now. Feel how different that resonates in your body compared to, I hope things get better financially. One is passive, the other is active. One puts you at the mercy of external forces. The other places you in the director's chair of your financial destiny. This blueprint for transformation isn't just theoretical. It's based on a universal principle that Joseph Murphy discovered through decades of research: the law of instant adjustment. Think of the universe as a precise cosmic accountant, constantly balancing the books of your life. When your internal thoughts about money contradict your divine right to abundance, the universe automatically sends experiences that reflect that imbalance. Debt is often one of those reflections, not as punishment, but as feedback. It's showing you where your consciousness isn't aligned with prosperity. But here's the revelation that changed everything for me. The moment you correct your internal account, the moment you align your thoughts, feelings, and words with the truth of abundance, the universe instantly recalculates. The adjustment isn't gradual or someday in the future. It's immediate at the energetic level, though it may take some time to fully manifest in your physical reality. I've witnessed this phenomenon countless times. People suddenly receiving unexpected refunds, discovering billing errors in their favor, having debts forgiven, or receiving surprising opportunities precisely when they shifted their internal state. The catalyst was always the same. They stopped contradicting their own abundance. The universe doesn't play favorites, but it does play by rules. It's responding to your energetic signature with mathematical precision. If you're broadcasting lack and limitation, those frequencies return to you as experiences. But when you broadcast authority and abundance, that new frequency creates an entirely different set of circumstances. I want you to understand the mechanism behind this principle, because once you grasp how this spiritual mathematics works, you can apply it deliberately to transform any financial situation you're facing. If these 5 words are resonating with your soul right now, type, I command abundance in the comments, so I can witness your declaration. Let me share with you a practice that has literally dissolved mountains of debt for those who've applied it consistently. Whenever you think about your financial obligations, whether it's looking at bills, checking your account, or lying awake worried about money, I want you to declare with absolute conviction, this is already paid in divine substance. The universe has settled this account in my favor. The revelation behind this practice goes deeper than most realize. You're not trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. You're actually aligning with a higher truth that exists beyond the current physical manifestation. In the realm of energy and consciousness, which precedes physical reality, the balance has already been restored. You're simply bringing your awareness into alignment with that completed state. What fascinates me about Joseph Murphy's breakthrough research is how he discovered the mechanical process behind this phenomenon. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's physically present and what's vividly imagined with emotion. When you speak with absolute conviction, your subconscious accepts that statement as law, even if your physical senses tell you otherwise. This is where the true mastery lies. Most people wait to feel abundant until after their circumstances change. But those who create financial miracles reverse this process. They generate the feeling of completion first, which then magnetizes the physical circumstances to match. Now I want to reveal something profound about the nature of your words that few understand. Your words aren't just sounds vibrating through the air, they're actual commands to universal energy. The ancient wisdom traditions have always taught this, but modern quantum physics is finally catching up to what mystics have known for millennia. Every word you speak carries a specific frequency. When charged with emotion and conviction, these frequencies become instructions to the field of infinite possibilities surrounding you. The universe doesn't judge whether your commands are positive or negative. It simply receives your vibrational instructions and arranges circumstances to match them. This explains why complaining about debt typically creates more debt, while blessing your finances tends to multiply them. It's not random or magical. It's the precise operation of universal law responding to your most potent frequencies. The transformation begins when you consciously choose your words as carefully as you would choose investments. Most people speak the language of lack fluently. I can't afford that. I'm always broke. Money is tight. And then wonder why these conditions persist. Each statement is a command that your subconscious and the universe obey with perfect precision. When you declare this debt is already paid in divine substance, you're not denying reality. You're creating a new reality at the causal level. You're establishing a new pattern in consciousness that must eventually express itself in your circumstances. I've seen this science of affirmation work in cases that seemed impossible: crushing medical bills suddenly reduced or forgiven, tax liabilities unexpectedly adjusted, settlement offers appearing out of nowhere, not because of luck, but because the individuals had fundamentally shifted their command to the universe. If you're beginning to see how powerful your words truly are in creating your financial reality, write "My words create my wealth" in the comments. Now let's address something that keeps more people financially stuck than almost anything else: guilt. There's a hidden truth about debt that most financial advisors never discuss. Guilt is the energetic glue that keeps financial problems firmly in place. You simply cannot release what you continue to judge. Think about your own relationship with debt for a moment. Do you feel a sense of shame when you think about what you owe? Do you beat yourself up over financial decisions from the past? Do you feel somehow less spiritual or worthy because you have outstanding balances? This internal judgment creates an energetic prison that makes financial freedom nearly impossible. Joseph Murphy made a revolutionary discovery through his work with thousands of clients. He found that debt isn't a moral failure requiring shame. It's simply an exchange of energy seeking completion. When you purchased something or received a service, energy flowed to you. Now that energy seeks to complete its circuit by flowing back. That's all. There's no cosmic judgment attached to this process. Imagine walking into a restaurant, ordering a meal, enjoying it completely, and then feeling guilty about paying the bill. The waiter would think you'd lost your mind. Yet that's exactly how many approach their debts, with a strange guilt about completing an energy exchange they've already benefited from. This perspective shift alone can create breathtaking transformations in your financial landscape. The moment you release the heavy emotional charge around owing money, you open the channel for resolution and abundance to flow. Now, let me share a practice that takes this understanding even further, one that has created financial miracles for countless people trapped in seemingly hopeless situations. Instead of saying, "I'm drowning in debt," or "I'll never get out from under these bills," try this powerful reframe: "I bless every dollar I owe, for it represents value I've already received." This isn't just positive thinking, it's energetic alchemy. When you bless something, you instantly release resistance around it. And what you release can transform. It's like removing a dam that's been blocking the river of abundance. Suddenly, solutions appear that weren't visible before. I witnessed this remarkable journey with a client who had accumulated over $100,000 in medical debt after a serious health crisis. For years, she carried not just the financial burden, but the crushing weight of shame and regret. Every bill triggered anxiety attacks. Every collection call sent her spiraling. Her breakthrough began when she started blessing her debt instead of cursing it. This debt represents the medical care that saved my life. I bless it and release it to be resolved in divine order. Within weeks of this practice, she received notice that a hospital charity program was reviewing her case. 2 months later, 80% of her medical debt was forgiven. The timing wasn't coincidental, it was causal. The resistance that had been blocking her good was dissolved through blessing. This opened her to receive solutions that had been available all along but couldn't reach her through the dense energy of guilt and fear. If you've been carrying the weight of financial guilt, type "I release financial shame now" in the comments as your first step toward freedom. Now, I want to move beyond theory and give you the exact practical blueprint that Joseph Murphy developed after decades of studying those who successfully commanded their financial reality. This isn't just philosophical, it's a precise methodology that creates measurable results when applied consistently. The first foundational step might sound deceptively simple, but its impact runs deep. Speak abundance before you physically see it. Every morning before you touch your phone, check your emails, or confront any bills, declare with absolute conviction, "The universe is my supply and my debts are cleared." Notice the critical distinction in that phrasing. It's not "will be cleared," but "are cleared." This present tense declaration is a gateway to one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation. Time exists differently in consciousness than in physical reality. In the realm of pure consciousness, where all manifestation begins, everything exists in an eternal now. When you speak in future tense, "I will be debt-free," you're actually pushing that reality away from you, always keeping it at a distance. But when you claim it in present tense, "My debts are cleared," you're aligning with the completed state in consciousness, which must eventually express in your physical experience. This subtle shift creates a profound ripple effect through your entire energetic field. Your subconscious mind, which doesn't distinguish between what's physically present and what's vividly imagined, begins reorganizing your perceptions, decisions, and opportunities to match this new declaration. The second transformational step addresses how you interact with the very symbol of your financial challenges, your bills and statements. Most people either avoid looking at their bills altogether, creating an energy of denial, or view them with dread and resentment, creating an energy of resistance. Both approaches actually magnetize more of what you don't want. Instead, Joseph Murphy discovered that treating your debts with dignity creates an entirely different energetic signature. When a bill arrives, look at it directly. No avoidance, and calmly affirm, "You're temporary, you're part of a process that's already completed." This practice removes the emotional charge that blocks manifestation. When emotion is neutral, energy flows freely. It's like clearing static from a radio signal. Suddenly you can receive inspiration, ideas, and opportunities that were always broadcasting, but couldn't get through your emotional interference. I worked with a business owner who was over $200,000 in debt after a failed expansion. Every time he saw his statements, he would spiral into panic or rage. His breakthrough began when he started viewing these papers as temporary messengers rather than permanent sentences. Within 3 months of this practice, he received an unexpected business opportunity that generated enough revenue to clear half his debt. The catalyst wasn't external circumstances. It was his internal shift in perception. This journey of financial mastery isn't just about money. It's about reclaiming your sovereign power as a conscious creator. The decisions you make about how you perceive your current circumstances determine what you'll experience next. If these practical steps resonate with you, write financial dignity in the comments to affirm your commitment to this new relationship with money. The third transformational step in this journey reveals a counterintuitive truth about financial abundance that has changed countless lives. Perform one act of generosity every single day, no matter how small. Yes, even when you're struggling financially, especially when you're struggling financially. This practice creates a powerful, energetic ripple effect that few understand. When you buy someone a coffee, leave an unexpected tip, give a sincere compliment, or donate even a single coin, you're doing something profound at the energetic level. You're demonstrating to the universe that you trust in the flow of abundance. You're proving through action, not just words, that you believe in more than enough. Think about the wisdom behind this practice. When you're gripped by financial fear, your natural instinct is to contract, to hold tight to every penny, to close yourself off from giving. But this contraction actually blocks the very flow you're trying to create. Generosity, on the other hand, creates expansion. It opens the energetic channels through which abundance flows. I've witnessed remarkable breakthroughs with clients who embrace this practice. One woman who was behind on her mortgage began buying coffee for the person behind her in line once a week, a small gesture that she could manage even within her tight budget. Within a month, she received a call from her bank about a mortgage assistance program she didn't know she qualified for, reducing her payments by $300 monthly. The catalyst wasn't random timing. It was the shift in her energy from contraction to expansion. Now, let me reveal the insight that ties all these practices together, a revelation that completely transformed my understanding of financial manifestation. Joseph Murphy discovered through decades of observation that financial miracles don't manifest through stress, anxiety, or panic. They manifest through peace. This goes against everything our culture teaches us about money problems. We're conditioned to believe that worry is responsible, that stress shows we care, that anxiety is appropriate when facing financial challenges. But the universe doesn't respond to your stress. It responds to your state of being. When you're in a state of panic, you're actually blocking the very solutions you're desperately seeking. It's like frantically searching for your glasses while they're sitting on top of your head. The answers and opportunities are there, but your agitated energy prevents you from perceiving them. The profound decision to choose peace in the midst of financial challenges isn't denial. It's spiritual physics. Peace creates the open, receptive state through which inspiration, opportunity, and resolution can flow. The calmest minds consistently attract the most extraordinary financial breakthroughs. One client facing bankruptcy made a radical commitment to maintain inner peace regardless of his external circumstances. Instead of checking his accounts with dread, he checked them with calm curiosity. Instead of answering creditor calls with anxiety, he answered with centered presence. Within weeks, his perception shifted enough to recognize a business opportunity that had been available all along, but invisible through the lens of panic. This illumination about the relationship between peace and prosperity isn't just philosophical, it's practical alchemy for your financial life. If you're ready to embrace the power of peace in your financial journey, write "Peace creates prosperity" in the comments. Let me share an insight that completely transformed my relationship with money. Many of us have made a critical error in how we perceive debt. We've turned a temporary condition into an identity. We say things like, "I'm in debt," or "I'm a debtor," as if it's who we are, rather than just something we're experiencing. This subtle but profound shift in perception creates an energetic prison that makes financial freedom nearly impossible. Joseph Murphy discovered that debt is not your identity. It's simply an illusion of separation, a temporary distortion in your prosperity energy. It's like a cloud passing in front of the sun. The sun doesn't stop shining. Its light is just temporarily obscured. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that financial freedom isn't about working your way out of debt. It's about vibrating your way out. When you shift your energy, the physical world must reorganize itself to match your new frequency. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the precise operation of universal law. I've witnessed remarkable transformations when people embrace this truth. One client had carried the identity of debtor for so long that it colored every aspect of his life, his relationships, his career choices, even his health. His breakthrough began when he started affirming, "I am temporarily experiencing debt, but it is not who I am. My true nature is abundance." Within weeks, opportunities that had been invisible to him suddenly appeared. A skill he'd developed as a hobby became an unexpected income source, a tax issue resolved in his favor. The shift wasn't in his external circumstances first, it was in his energetic signature. The circumstances simply followed. Now let me share a visualization technique that has created financial miracles for thousands. This practice bypasses your conscious resistance and speaks directly to your subconscious, where all manifestation begins. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine all your debts written on a piece of paper, every balance, every due date, every obligation. See each amount clearly. Now visualize yourself holding a golden stamp that says, "Paid in full," in radiant letters. Watch yourself confidently stamping this across each line of debt. Feel the wave of relief and freedom washing over you as each obligation is stamped. Experience the lightness in your body, the opening in your chest, the smile that naturally comes to your face. This isn't fantasy, it's creation at the causal level. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's physically happening and what's vividly imagined with emotion. It simply receives impressions and works tirelessly to bring those impressions into physical reality. The blueprint for transformation lies in understanding that your imagination isn't just idle daydreaming. It's the workshop where reality is fashioned before it appears in your physical experience. When you impress an image upon your subconscious with genuine emotion, the universe rushes to materialize it. Most people unknowingly use this same power to create more debt by constantly visualizing bills, lack, and financial struggle. They mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios and emotionally feel the pain of not having enough. Their subconscious faithfully delivers more of these experiences. Let me show you how to harness this creative power deliberately to transform your financial landscape from the inside out. If you've started using visualization to transform your finances, write "I see abundance clearly" in the comments below. Let me tell you about something that happens in the minds of most people. Struggling with financial challenges, something that's keeping them trapped without them even realizing it. Throughout the day, their mental energy is consumed by visualizing the very things they don't want: stacks of unpaid bills, declining bank balances, awkward conversations about money they can't afford to spend, or worst-case scenarios about financial collapse. What's happening at the subconscious level is fascinating. Every time you vividly picture these scenes of lack with emotional intensity, you're actually programming your subconscious to create more of these experiences. It's like planting seeds of financial struggle and then wondering why your garden keeps growing weeds instead of flowers. Joseph Murphy discovered this hidden mechanism of manifestation and realized that the solution wasn't complicated. It was simply a matter of deliberately redirecting the same visualization power toward what you want rather than what you fear. Instead of constantly picturing debt, begin visualizing completion. Rather than mentally rehearsing conversations about not having enough, visualize conversations about your unexpected abundance. This isn't just positive thinking, it's a fundamental reprogramming of your subconscious financial blueprint. When done consistently, it creates a new template that your life experiences must eventually conform to. Let me share a remarkable transformation that illustrates the power of this approach. A woman came to Joseph Murphy in tears, completely overwhelmed by debt. She was behind on her rent, car payments, utilities. Everything was spiraling out of control. The weight of financial pressure had become so unbearable that she could barely function. Murphy gave her what seemed like overly simplistic advice. Stop worrying and start commanding. He instructed her to affirm daily, with absolute conviction, I am debt-free in divine law. Initially, she was skeptical. How could mere words change her dire financial situation? But, having exhausted all conventional approaches, she committed to the practice. Every morning and evening, she declared with increasing authority, I am debt-free in divine law. The revelation of what happened next still gives me chills. Within just 1 month of this practice, a relative she hadn't spoken to in years reached out unexpectedly. This person had been developing a business opportunity and felt strongly guided to offer her a position. The income from this unexpected source enabled her to clear half of her debts within weeks. By the 3rd month of her practice, something even more remarkable occurred. She was completely free of all financial obligations. The transformation wasn't just in her bank account, but in her entire relationship with abundance. She hadn't begged the universe for help. She had spoken as if it had already obeyed her command. And it had. This journey of inner authority illustrates a profound truth. The universe responds to faith, not fear. It doesn't play favorites, but it does amplify frequencies. Whatever signal you broadcast most consistently is what returns to you as experience. If you've experienced a financial breakthrough after shifting your thoughts and words, type "command received" in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Let's explore something fundamental about how the universe works. There's an invisible principle operating in your financial life that explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, while others struggle despite working twice as hard. The universe doesn't respond to your needs, your wants, or even your worthiness. It responds to your dominant frequency. And that frequency is determined by one thing, whether you're operating from faith or fear. This revelation transformed my understanding of prosperity. The universe doesn't play favorites, but it does play frequencies. It's like a cosmic mirror, precisely reflecting back whatever signal you broadcast most consistently. When you speak with the certainty of knowing rather than the anxiety of hoping, the universe has no choice but to align with your conviction. Think about how differently these statements feel in your body. I hope my finances improve soon, versus I know abundance is flowing to me now. One vibrates with uncertainty, the other with assurance. One positions you as a passive recipient, the other as an active creator, and the universe responds accordingly. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern across thousands of case studies. Those who created the most dramatic financial breakthroughs weren't necessarily the most educated, connected, or privileged. They were simply those who mastered the art of maintaining an unwavering faith, regardless of external circumstances. They refused to let their current bank balance determine their energetic broadcast. Now, I want to reveal something that might be uncomfortable to hear, but could create an immediate shift in your prosperity consciousness. Most people have become fluent in what I call the language of lack without even realizing it. Throughout the day, they unconsciously speak phrases that program financial limitation directly into their subconscious. I can't afford that. I'm always broke. That's too expensive. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'll never get out of debt. Each of these statements is actually a command to your subconscious mind and to the universe, and both are incredibly obedient. They will faithfully manifest exactly what you declare with conviction. The tragedy is that most people are unconsciously commanding lack while consciously desiring abundance, creating a split energy that produces mixed results at best. Your words are not just descriptions of your reality, they're instructions for creating your reality. This understanding revolutionized my own financial journey. I began catching myself whenever I slipped into the language of lack. Each time I noticed myself about to say, "I can't afford that," I would pause and reframe. I'm choosing to direct my resources elsewhere right now. This deliberate rewiring of my speech patterns wasn't just semantic gymnastics. It represented a fundamental shift in my relationship with abundance. I was reclaiming my power as the director of my financial experience rather than positioning myself as a victim of circumstances. A client of mine who was drowning in student loan debt made a radical commitment to eliminate lack language from her vocabulary for 30 days. Within 2 weeks, she received guidance to explore loan forgiveness programs she didn't know existed, which ultimately reduced her debt by over $50,000. The catalyst wasn't random timing, but her conscious decision to upgrade her vibrational broadcast. If you've caught yourself speaking the language of lack and are ready to upgrade your financial vocabulary, type "speaking abundance now" in the comments. Now let me share a practical technique that can create an immediate shift in your financial energy. Start catching and correcting every negative financial statement the moment it leaves your lips. This mindful awareness creates a powerful interruption in your habitual thought patterns. When you catch yourself saying, "I'm broke," immediately correct it with something like, "I am temporarily rearranging my resources, but abundance is flowing now." If you hear yourself saying, "I can't afford that," replace it with, "I'm choosing to invest my money elsewhere right now." This isn't just playing word games. It's a fundamental recalibration of your energetic signature. What's fascinating about this practice is how quickly it creates shifts in your external reality. A client who committed to catching and correcting his negative financial statements for just 7 days experienced an unexpected tax refund on day 5. Money that had been held up in processing for months suddenly cleared. The catalyst wasn't random timing, but his deliberate choice to upgrade his energetic broadcast. Now here's something crucial that most financial teachers miss entirely. Make this process light and even humorous. There's no need for grim determination or rigid discipline. In fact, approaching this transformation with humor and playfulness accelerates the results dramatically. If you slip up and catch yourself speaking lack language, don't beat yourself up. Simply laugh and say, "Oops, let me rephrase that." This lightness is actually strategic. Humor instantly shifts your vibrational frequency. When you laugh, you open your energy field. Fear constricts while joy expands. And expansion is the perfect state for receiving. Have you ever noticed how good things often happen when you stop taking life so seriously? That's not coincidental, it's causal. Joy magnetically attracts miracles, while heaviness and seriousness tend to repel them. The universe responds more readily to your joyful expectation than to your desperate pleading. This revelation about the magnetic power of joy transformed my understanding of manifestation. I'd been approaching financial transformation with such grim seriousness, making vision boards with furrowed brow, reciting affirmations like military drills, monitoring my thoughts with ruthless vigilance. And the results were mediocre at best. The breakthrough came when I lightened up and began approaching my prosperity practices with playfulness and delight. Suddenly, opportunities, connections, and resources started flowing effortlessly. It wasn't that I was working less diligently. I was simply working from a different energetic state. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern across thousands of case studies. His most financially successful students weren't those who approached prosperity with grave intensity. They were those who maintained light-hearted attitudes about money. They could laugh about their temporary challenges. They could make jokes about their manifestation journey. This emotional buoyancy created an energetic environment in which abundance could easily flow. Think about your own experience for a moment. When was the last time something wonderful happened financially? Were you stressed and worried at that moment, or were you in a state of relative peace and joy? There's a pattern here that reveals a profound truth about how energy works. If you're noticing the connection between your emotional state and your financial flow, write "Joy is my prosperity practice" in the comments. Let me share a perspective that completely transformed my relationship with financial challenges. In the material world, yes, debt exists. The numbers appear on statements. The bills arrive in your mailbox. The balance shows in your account. But Joseph Murphy discovered something profound. In spiritual reality, you are already balanced. This isn't spiritual bypass or denial of practical reality. It's recognizing that there are two levels of existence operating simultaneously. In the spiritual dimension, where all manifestation begins, you are not in deficit. You're rediscovering your surplus. You're not behind. You're right on time. You're not lacking. You're learning to receive. And receiving begins with commanding. This revelation changes everything about how you approach your financial situation. Instead of seeing yourself as somehow energetically indebted, recognize that you're simply experiencing a temporary imbalance in the physical expression of your true abundant nature. The blueprint of perfection already exists. You're just aligning with it. I worked with a client who had been buried under medical debt for years. Her breakthrough began when she shifted from seeing herself as drowning in debt to recognizing herself as temporarily experiencing an imbalance that is already resolved in divine mind. This wasn't just positive thinking, it was aligning with a higher truth. Within weeks of maintaining this consciousness, she received notification of a hospital charity program she hadn't known existed, which forgave 70% of her medical bills. Now let me reveal something even more transformative about commanding the universe. This isn't about barking orders at the cosmos like some dictator. It's about entering into divine partnership with the infinite supply that is already yours by birthright. It's reclaiming your natural relationship with abundance. Think back to when you were a small child. Did you worry about where your next meal would come from? Did you stress about the electric bill or your school fees? Of course not. You trusted completely that your needs would be met. You were in perfect alignment with provision because you hadn't yet learned to doubt it. That same childlike certainty, that absolute knowing that you are provided for, is the frequency that now attracts financial abundance. As adults, we've been programmed to believe we must worry, calculate, and stress about money to be responsible. But worry is actually the most irresponsible state because it actively blocks solutions. Joseph Murphy documented thousands of cases where people simply returned to that state of childlike certainty, commanding with complete faith rather than begging with anxiety, and watched their financial circumstances transform, often in ways that defied conventional explanation. There's a hidden wisdom in approaching money with the innocence and authority of a child who simply expects good. Children don't beg or plead. They simply assume their needs will be met. The moment you stop doubting, questioning and worrying about how abundance will come to you, and instead simply command with calm certainty, everything shifts. The universe says, "Your wish is my command." This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been beneath the layers of financial conditioning and fear. If this perspective of divine partnership with abundance resonates with your soul, write, "I am already complete," in the comments. Now, I want to share something fascinating about the actual energy of money that few people understand. Money isn't just a physical currency. It's a living force that responds to your energetic signals. And like any energy, it has preferences. Money energy loves confidence, clarity, and direction. It's magnetically drawn to decisiveness and leadership. Conversely, it tends to flow away from confusion, doubt, and hesitation. Think about the people you know who seem to attract financial abundance effortlessly. There's something in their demeanor, isn't there? A certain clarity, a quiet confidence in their relationship with wealth. They don't chase money anxiously, they direct it with authority. This isn't coincidence or personality, it's energetic mastery. Every dollar that passes through your hands is actually energy obeying your command. When you spend money fearfully, saying things like, "I can't really afford this," or "this is going to hurt," you're programming that energy to create more experiences of lack. But when you spend with gratitude and confidence, declaring, "This money returns to me multiplied," you're programming a completely different outcome. Joseph Murphy discovered that the most prosperous individuals program their money flow through confident declarations. Before paying bills, they affirm, "This money circulates and returns to me multiplied in wonderful ways." Before making purchases, they declare, "I release this money with joy, knowing universal supply is constant and returns multiplied." These aren't magical incantations, they're energetic programming that money responds to. I started implementing this practice with my monthly expenses. Instead of the usual dread when paying bills, I began blessing each payment. I joyfully release this energy, knowing it returns multiplied. Within 3 months, I received an unexpected work opportunity that increased my income by 30%. The catalyst wasn't random timing, but my deliberate shift in how I was directing money energy. Now, let me reveal something transformative about debt that completely changed my perspective. Most people view debt as punishment or failure, something they did wrong or a burden they must bear. But Joseph Murphy uncovered the hidden truth. Debt isn't punishment, it's feedback. It's a mirror showing you where you've been living outside divine order in your consciousness. Perhaps you've been undervaluing yourself professionally, overgiving in relationships, or harboring deep doubts about your worthiness to receive. Debt simply makes visible these internal patterns. It's not the problem, it's pointing to the problem. And once you recognize and address the lesson it's revealing, the condition often dissolves naturally. This understanding explains why some people suddenly experience debt forgiveness, cancelled loans, or unexpected financial windfalls. It's not random luck or timing, it's because they've corrected the energetic imbalance that created the debt in the first place. When the lesson is learned, the teacher is no longer needed. A client of mine had accumulated significant credit card debt over years. During our work together, she realized this debt reflected a pattern of using material purchases to fill an emotional void. As she addressed this core pattern and developed healthier ways to meet her emotional needs, something remarkable happened. A billing error was discovered in her favor, and a family member unexpectedly offered to help clear her remaining balance. The external resolution came naturally after the internal correction. If you're beginning to see your financial challenges as valuable feedback rather than punishment, write, "My debt is teaching me," in the comments. Now, let me share what might be the most powerful revelation in this entire journey of financial transformation. If you really want to command the universe to pay your debts instantly, there's one payment you must make first, and it has nothing to do with money. You need to forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness is actually the first and most crucial payment that clears your energetic account. Many of us carry a heavy burden of guilt around our financial decisions. That investment that went wrong, the impulsive purchases, the loans we shouldn't have taken, the opportunities we missed. This guilt creates an energetic blockage that prevents abundance from flowing freely in your life. Try this powerful declaration right now. I forgive myself for every financial mistake, known and unknown. I release guilt and accept divine balance. Say it like you mean it. Feel the energetic shift in your body as you release that burden. This isn't just a nice sentiment, it's energetic alchemy. Guilt is a dense, heavy vibration that literally blocks the frequency of abundance. When you forgive yourself, you dissolve this blockage, allowing prosperity to flow naturally again. I've witnessed remarkable transformations when people finally release the crushing weight of financial shame they've been carrying, often for decades. One client had been punishing himself for years over a failed business venture that cost his family their savings. His breakthrough began with self-forgiveness. Within weeks of releasing this energetic burden, synchronicities started appearing, an unexpected opportunity to leverage his expertise, a chance meeting with a potential investor, resources aligning in ways that defied logical explanation. The inner shift created outer results. Another critical insight that transformed my financial journey was recognizing how many of us unconsciously postpone our prosperity. We place abundance safely in some distant future. One day I'll be debt-free, or when I finally get out of this mess. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, responds accordingly. One day, not now. You keep pushing abundance away from your present experience. The revelation that changes everything is this: stop postponing your prosperity. Claim it now. Instead of saying, I will be debt-free, declare with authority, I am debt-free in divine truth. Yes, bills may still arrive in your mailbox for a while, but understand they're just the afterglow of old energy patterns you've already transformed. They're like echoes of a sound that's already stopped. This mind shift isn't about denial. It's about aligning with the higher reality that already exists in consciousness before it manifests in form. In the realm where all creation begins, you are already free. When you align with that truth, the physical world must eventually reorganize itself to match. The moment you stop pushing abundance into some future time frame and claim it as your present reality, everything shifts. Time exists differently in consciousness than in physical reality. When you declare I am instead of I will be, you collapse time and accelerate manifestation. If this revelation about the power of claiming your abundance in the present moment resonates with you, write, "My abundance is now," in the comments. Now I'm going to share something that might completely transform your relationship with money, a revolutionary concept Joseph Murphy discovered that few financial experts ever discuss. It's what I call gratitude payments, and it has the power to dramatically accelerate your journey to financial freedom. Here's how it works. Every time you make a payment toward your debt, no matter how small, instead of sighing with resignation or feeling resentment, smile and declare with genuine gratitude, I bless this payment and I command it to return to me multiplied. This isn't wishful thinking, it's energetic recalibration at its most powerful. The revelation behind this practice is profound. What you bless increases. What you resist persists. When you resent making payments, you're actually creating resistance around the very flow of money you're trying to improve. That resistance becomes an energetic barrier that blocks abundance from returning to you. But when you bless the outflow, you open the channel for greater inflow. I remember the pivotal moment when I discovered this principle. For years, I would physically cringe every time I made my student loan payment. Each transaction felt like watching my blood drain away. Then I learned this blessing practice and decided to experiment with it. The first few times felt artificial. Blessing money that was causing me stress seemed counterintuitive. But I persisted, and within weeks, my relationship with those payments completely transformed. They became opportunities to demonstrate my faith in abundance rather than reminders of lack. Let me share a remarkable story that illustrates the power of this approach. A man I worked with was drowning in student loans, over $60,000 that seemed to barely decrease despite years of payments. Every month, he would make his payment with a sense of resentment and futility. His breakthrough began when he started blessing each payment instead of cursing it. With each transaction, he would say with genuine gratitude, "I bless this money as it flows out, and I command it to return to me multiplied." Within just 3 months of this practice, something extraordinary happened. His company announced a performance bonus program, and he received his first bonus, a check for exactly the amount he had paid toward his loans during those 3 months. This wasn't mere coincidence. It was divine correspondence to his fundamental shift in consciousness. By blessing the outflow, he had opened the channel for unexpected inflow. The universe was responding to his new energetic signature around money. The transformation in his relationship with debt went beyond the practical benefit of the bonus. The heaviness and resentment that had been poisoning his overall prosperity consciousness was replaced with a genuine appreciation for the education his loans had funded and the opportunity to demonstrate his trust in abundance. This energetic shift continued to attract unexpected financial blessings that accelerated his journey to complete debt freedom. What fascinates me about this principle is how it completely inverts our conventional relationship with payments. Instead of seeing them as losses, we recognize them as opportunities to participate in the circulation of abundance. Every payment becomes a declaration of trust in the infinite supply of the universe. If you're ready to transform your relationship with payments through blessing, write, "I bless my financial flow" in the comments. Here's another perspective shift that created financial breakthroughs for many of Joseph Murphy's clients. Stop seeing your creditors as enemies. For most people struggling with debt, there's a natural tendency to view bill collectors, credit card companies, and loan services as adversaries, the bad guys who are causing stress and pain. This adversarial mindset creates an energetic dynamic that actually prolongs financial struggle. The revelation that transformed my own relationship with debt was understanding that creditors aren't out to get me. They're simply instruments in the divine play of exchange. They're fulfilling their role in the cycle of giving and receiving. When I held resentment toward them, I was actually chaining myself to their vibration, creating an energetic tug-of-war that drained my creative power. But when you make the conscious choice to send love instead of resistance to these entities, yes, even to the collections department that keeps calling, you free yourself from this lower frequency. You rise above the energy of conflict and enter the frequency of completion and resolution. This isn't about becoming a passive doormat. It's about reclaiming your power by refusing to engage in energetic combat. It's about recognizing that your relationship with these institutions is temporary, and your freedom doesn't depend on battling them, but on transcending the entire dynamic through consciousness. Joseph Murphy documented countless cases where even the most difficult collection situations became surprisingly harmonious after this mental shift. Suddenly, payment plans were offered, extension requests were approved. In some cases, settlement offers appeared that reduced the total debt significantly. The catalyst wasn't random timing, it was the fundamental shift in the energy field that had been created by releasing resentment and embracing a higher perspective. One client, who had been avoiding creditor calls for months, decided to experiment with this approach. Before answering the next call, she centered herself in love rather than fear, and silently affirmed, divine law is now balancing this in perfect order. The conversation that followed was remarkably different. The collector was unusually helpful, offering a payment arrangement that actually worked with her budget. The external circumstance reflected her internal shift. Now, here's a practice that might sound unusual, but has created powerful breakthroughs. Learn to laugh at your bills. Yes, literally. When that bill or payment notification arrives in your inbox, instead of the usual sinking feeling or tension, try chuckling and saying something like, "Oh, universe, you're just reminding me to flex my abundance muscles." This isn't denial or dismissal, it's energetic alchemy. Humor instantly shifts your vibrational state. It disarms financial fear because laughter and anxiety cannot occupy the same mental space simultaneously. When you can laugh at what previously triggered fear, you've reclaimed your power over it. I remember a particular credit card bill that used to cause me physical tension whenever it arrived. I started this laughing practice, and while it felt forced at first, something remarkable happened. The emotional charge began to dissolve. What had been a source of stress became just another paper in my life, no different than junk mail or a magazine. If you've started seeing your creditors through new eyes, write, "They're not my enemies," in the comments. Let me share a secret about manifestation that many miss, a hidden reason why financial breakthroughs often seem delayed or blocked entirely. Most people unwittingly sabotage their manifestations by constantly monitoring results. They affirm abundance in the morning, and by afternoon, they're checking their bank accounts like a hawk, looking for evidence that something has changed. This constant checking isn't faith, it's surveillance. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every few hours to see if it's growing. That anxious monitoring actually broadcasts a frequency of doubt to the universe, which then faithfully mirrors that doubt back to you as delayed results. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern across thousands of case studies. Those who created the most dramatic financial breakthroughs weren't those who affirmed the most or visualized the longest. They were those who mastered the art of detachment. They commanded the universe and then released their grip, trusting completely that it was already done. This detachment isn't apathy or giving up. It's a profound expression of faith, the kind of unshakable knowing that doesn't need constant reassurance or evidence. When you truly believe something is handled, you don't keep checking on it. You simply move forward with the quiet confidence that the universe is already in motion, orchestrating the perfect resolution. I struggled with this aspect of manifestation. For years, I'd make my declarations and visualize with intensity, but then I couldn't resist checking my accounts multiple times daily, looking for signs that the universe was responding. This surveillance created an undercurrent of anxiety that actually repelled the very abundance I was trying to attract. My breakthrough came when I committed to a simple but challenging practice. After making my prosperity declarations each morning, I would not check my bank balance for 3 full days. This felt uncomfortable at first, almost irresponsible, but it forced me to live from a place of trust rather than verification. The results were remarkable. During that first 3-day experiment, an unexpected check arrived that covered an outstanding bill I'd been worried about. Now, let me share a practical reset that Joseph Murphy developed that can create immediate shifts in your prosperity consciousness. I call it the 3-minute wealth command, and you can use it anytime, anywhere, especially when financial fears or worries try to creep in. First, center yourself. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Remind yourself, I am provided for. I am safe. This grounding step is crucial because it shifts you from the sympathetic fight or flight nervous system to the parasympathetic rest and digest state where manifestation is most powerful. Second, speak your command with absolute authority. By divine law, my Debts are paid, my accounts are balanced, and abundance is flowing to me now. Say it like a decree, not a wish. Feel the certainty in your voice, the unwavering knowing in your body. You're not asking the universe for a favor. You're aligning with what is already true in divine mind. Third, give thanks before seeing any physical evidence of change. Express genuine gratitude. Thank you, universe, for this perfect resolution. Gratitude is the energetic signature that seals the command. It's the final confirmation to your subconscious and to universal intelligence that you accept this new reality as done. If the 3-minute wealth command resonates with you as a powerful reset for your financial energy, write "I command with certainty" in the comments. Now, after you begin practicing the 3-minute wealth command, I want you to become aware of something extraordinary that will start happening in your life. Watch for the confirmation signs that the universe is already responding to your new energetic broadcast. These might appear as small shifts at first, an unexpected refund showing up in your account, a bill that's smaller than you anticipated, a surprise gift from someone, or a sudden burst of creativity that leads to additional income. The critical insight here is recognizing that these aren't random coincidences or lucky breaks. They're direct evidence that universal intelligence is moving in response to your command. They're the first ripples of a much larger wave of abundance that's forming. Many people miss these early signs because they're waiting for their entire financial situation to transform overnight. But transformation rarely works that way. It begins with these subtle confirmations that something has shifted in your energy field. I remember when I first started this practice, I received a small tax refund adjustment of $47 that I wasn't expecting. It would have been easy to dismiss this as insignificant or unrelated to my prosperity work, but I recognized it for what it was, a clear signal that the universe was responding to my new frequency. This recognition itself is powerful because it reinforces your faith in the process, creating an upward spiral of expectation and manifestation. A client of mine began the 3-minute wealth command practice on a Monday. By Wednesday, she received an email from a streaming service offering a refund for double billing her months earlier, something she hadn't even noticed. By Friday, a potential client she'd spoken with 6 months prior suddenly reached out with a project offer. These weren't massive windfalls, but they were undeniable breadcrumbs on the path to bigger breakthroughs. The moment you acknowledge these signs as meaningful responses rather than meaningless coincidences, you accelerate the entire manifestation process. You're essentially telling the universe, "Yes, I see what you're doing, and I'm ready for more." This recognition creates a powerful feedback loop between your consciousness and universal intelligence. Now, here's the revelation that truly determines whether you'll experience temporary improvement or complete financial transformation. Consistency is absolutely key. The power lies not in making dramatic declarations once and then resuming your habitual thoughts and speech patterns. It's in the steady, persistent alignment of your energy day after day. Think of it this way. Every time you speak negatively about money after commanding abundance, you're essentially canceling your previous order with the universe. It's like calling a restaurant, placing a beautiful meal order, and then calling back to say, "Never mind, I'll just starve." The universe doesn't judge your commands. It simply receives them and responds accordingly. I've observed this pattern countless times. Someone will do powerful prosperity work in the morning, affirmations, visualizations, gratitude practices, and then spend the rest of the day unconsciously contradicting those commands through worried in thoughts and lack-based statements. It's this split energy that produces mixed results at best. The journey to financial mastery requires vigilant awareness of your moment-to-moment thoughts, words, and feelings about money. Every consistent day of alignment builds momentum, like compound interest for your manifestations. Small shifts in consciousness, maintained consistently, create massive transformations over time. If you recognize that consistency has been your missing piece in creating lasting abundance, write daily alignment in the comments below. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember something powerful. The universe isn't withholding abundance from you. It's simply waiting for you to command with clarity and conviction. You're not a victim of circumstances. You're the creator of conditions. The 5 words we explored, I command the flow of abundance, aren't just a phrase. They're the key that unlocks your divine partnership with prosperity. If this message resonated with you today, if something inside you recognized a deeper truth about your relationship with money, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to join our community of conscious creators. Each week, I share insights and practices that continue this journey of financial transformation. Take a moment to leave a comment with the words, I command abundance now, so I can celebrate your decision to step into financial authority. Your declaration matters. It's the first step toward the breakthrough you've been seeking. If you found value in our time together, a simple like on this video helps others discover these principles that have transformed so many lives, including my own. And speaking of transformation, there's a video right here that reveals the exact morning ritual that compounds these prosperity principles into daily miracles. Click and continue with me over there to deepen your practice and accelerate your results. Remember, you are not chasing money. You are summoning it. When you stand in your divine authority and command with joy, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Your financial freedom isn't someday. It's already unfolding right now.